Morning. Today we're going to practice reviewing using the area model to multiply a two-digit number by a two-digit number. So we're going to start with a number 58 times 62. The first thing we're going to do is take the 58 and we're going to break it apart into tens and ones. So there are 5 tens in 58, so that's going to be 50. And there are 8 ones plus 8. And we're going to do the same thing with 62. We're going to break that apart into tens and ones. So 6 tens is 60 plus 2 ones. So now I have these parts. And I'm going to use the area model to do the multiplication. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a rectangle. Now, since my first number has 2 digits in it, I'm going to need 2 boxes, a box for my tens and a box for my ones. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to divide this rectangle into tens and ones. And I'm going to put the 50 over the first box. And I'm going to put the 8 ones over the second box. Now I have to multiply 50 plus 8. I have to multiply that by 60 plus 2. So I'm going to do the same thing over here, except this time I'm going to draw my box or my line horizontally to show that I'm going to divide this side over here into 2 parts. All right, so I'm going to have this top box will be my my tens, and my bottom box will be ones. So I'm going to place the 60 over here on top, and I'm going to place the 2 ones down here on the bottom. Now, this is a rectangle, so I want you to remember that rectangles, the length of the side across from it has the same value. So if this side of the rectangle, this part right here, is 50, then this part down here is also going to be 50. And if this part of the line is 8, then this part of the line from here to here is also measured at 8. And the same thing goes for this side of the rectangle. If this part of the rectangle right here is 60, then this part of the rectangle is also 60. And if this part of the rectangle measures 2 units, then this part over here is also going to measure 2 units. All right, so we want to keep that in mind, what we know about rectangles. So now what we're going to do is we're going to multiply all of the parts. And I'm going to start over here. And I'm going to do 60 times 50. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect the parts just to make sure that I remember that I multiply each part. So here's my 60 times 50. Over here, I'm going to have 60 times 80. Or I'm sorry, not 60 times 80. We're going to have 60 times 8. And that box. And in this box down here, we're going to have 2 times 8. And in this box right here, we're going to have 2 times 50. All right, now that I have put the expressions inside of the boxes, I'm going to go ahead and find the products. So 60 times 50, I'm going to use what I know about using basic facts to multiply. So I'm going to do 6 times 5 is 30. And then I'm multiplying by 6 tens. So I have to put a 0 for that 10 that I multiplied. And I'm also multiplying by 5 tens. So I have to put that 0 in my answer to show that I multiplied by that 10. So my answer is 3,000. So now I'm going to go over here to 60 times 8. And again, I'm going to use my basic fact. 6 times 8 is 48. And I have 1 0 over here because I'm multiplying by 6 tens. So I have to put that 0 in my answer to show that I multiplied by 6 tens. Now I'm going to go down here to this box, and I've got 2 times 5 for my basic fact, and that my answer would be 10. But I'm multiplying by 5 tens, so I have to put that 0 in my answer to show that I multiplied by 10. And now I'm going to come over here to my final box. 2 times 8 is 16. So now what I have to do is I have to add together all of the parts to get my final answer. So I'm going to start with my first 2 boxes. So 3,000 plus 480. So I have 0, 0 and 8 tens is 8 tens, 0 and 4 hundreds is 400, and 3,000 plus 0 is 3,000. So I'm just going to check off that I added those 2 parts together, and now I'm going to add in this part right here. So I have 3,480 plus 100, which is 0, 8 and 8 tens and 0 tens is 8 tens, 4 hundreds and 100 is 500, and 3,000s plus 0 is 3,000s. And I'm going to check off that box to show that I added that part in. Now I'm going to add in this final box. So I've got 3,580 plus 16. So I'm going to do 0 ones and 6 ones is 6, 8 tens and 1 10 is 9 tens, 5 hundreds plus 0 hundreds is 500, and 3,000s plus 0 is 3,000. So my final answer, when I multiply or when I add all of my partial products together, is going to be 3,596.